My name is Eli Mercer, and I'm 28 years old. I grew up in Seattle, always in the shadow of my perfect older sister, Avery, who seemed to have everything: beauty, charm, and our parents' undivided attention. While she excelled in every way, I was the quiet, overlooked one. The one who did what he was told without question, the one whose needs always came second to hers. My family often talked about me like I was a distant relative, not even a part of their inner circle. I used to think maybe I was just being dramatic, but lately, it's hard to deny the truth. Something's been happening, something dark and dangerous, something my stepfather Gregory has been planning all along. I thought I could trust him, but when I found out the truth about what he's been hiding, I realized I was just a pawn in their game. Now, the clock is ticking, and I'm not sure if I'm ready to confront the betrayal that's about to tear everything apart. But one thing's for sure, I'm about to make a choice that will change everything. I step through the door of the house, the same house I've lived in for most of my life, and a chill crawls down my spine. It's strange. I've felt it before, the weight in the air, like there's something pressing down on me, waiting for me to break. But today, it's worse. Today, I know something's wrong. Eli, you're home early, Coraline's voice cuts through the silence. She stands in the kitchen, her hands moving mechanically as she chops vegetables. Everything about her is off. She's acting like nothing's wrong, but I can see it in her eyes. She's trying to hide something. I don't say anything, just walk past her, into the living room, where the tension hangs thicker than usual. Gregory's in his chair, one leg crossed over the other, his eyes flicking to me as I enter, too quickly, too casually. There's a heaviness in his stare that I haven't noticed before, and it makes my skin crawl. I was thinking, Gregory begins, his voice calm, too calm, you should probably get tested for compatibility soon. Avery's health, you know it's not looking good. I feel the blood drain from my face, and for a moment, everything else fades into the background. The walls feel closer, like they're caving in on me. My mouth goes dry. Avery's health isn't just a conversation anymore. It's a transaction. I've known that for years. I've always been the one they turn to, the one who can be counted on to do what needs to be done. But this time it feels different. I try to keep my voice steady. Tested for compatibility? I repeat, as if I don't understand, but we both know I do. Gregory gives a tight smile, one that doesn't reach his eyes. You know how it goes. She's your sister. You want to help her, don't you? I don't respond. Instead, I glance at Coraline, hoping to find something in her expression that will tell me I'm wrong, that this is just another one of their games. But she doesn't meet my eyes. Her hands falter for just a second, and in that brief moment, I realize the truth: she's complicit. The world feels like it's closing in. My throat tightens, and my pulse quickens. I can't breathe. I walk out onto the porch, needing air, needing to escape from the suffocating weight of it all. That's when I see it. A black duffel bag sitting next to Gregory's car, the one parked right outside the driveway. It's too large. Too conspicuous. I don't know why I didn't notice it earlier. But now, it feels like a sign. Like they're preparing something I'm not supposed to see. I approach the bag slowly, my steps hesitant. Something's not right. My stomach churns as I reach for it, my hand trembling. I pull it open just a crack, my eyes catching a glimpse of something inside. I don't know what it is yet, but I know I'm not supposed to see it. Before I can investigate further, the sound of footsteps behind me makes me freeze. Elijah, Gregory's voice cuts through the air, sharp and cold. I wouldn't do that if I were you. I turn slowly, my heart hammering in my chest. There's something in his eyes, something dark. I should have been more careful. I should have known that they wouldn't stop, that they'd push me into a corner where I had no choice but to comply. But I won't. I'm not going to let you do this, I say, my voice barely above a whisper. It feels like a promise to myself, a last-ditch effort to resist the overwhelming pressure. You can't make me. Gregory's lips curl into a thin smile. You'll see, Eli. It's already been decided. His words hang in the air, and for the first time, I feel a ripple of fear deep inside me. I don't know what's coming, but I know it's too late to turn back. The trap has already been set. And now, I'm the one who has to decide how to break free. The tension in the house is unbearable. I can feel it, thick in the air, pressing down on my chest as I try to steady my breath. Gregory's words echo in my mind, repeating over and over like a drumbeat, "You're the one who can save her." It's not just about the liver anymore, it's about control. Control over me, over what I will and won't do. Control over Avery's life. And I'm supposed to just sit back and let them keep using me. I sit on the couch, staring at my phone, pretending to scroll through messages. My hands are shaking. But it's not the phone that holds my attention, it's the text from Dr. Holt that still lingers in my mind. The message was short, almost cryptic. "You need to know what's going on." I think I'm being coerced. I can barely remember the last time I saw Dr. Holt. But I know one thing, he doesn't send cryptic messages unless something's really wrong. The sound of Coraline's voice from the kitchen drags me back to the present. "Dinner's ready," she calls, as if everything is normal. But I know better. I know her too well. I get up, moving toward the kitchen slowly, the weight of the house pressing down on me. It's like a game, and I'm starting to realize I'm just a pawn. When I walk in, I find Coraline setting the table, humming softly. As if the last 30 minutes didn't happen. As if we didn't just have a conversation about saving Avery's life. As if I'm not standing here on the edge of unraveling everything. "Are you sure about this, Eli?" she asks, her voice too soft, too practiced. I look at her, the woman who's supposed to be my mother, and feel nothing but cold distance. She's part of this. She's complicit. "You knew I wasn't a match, didn't you?" I say quietly, the question hanging in the air like a challenge. She doesn't flinch. Instead, she focuses on the silverware, arranging it with a precision that feels off. "You're overthinking this, Eli. Just trust us. Trust us." The words feel like a slap to my face. I've trusted them all my life. And look where it's gotten me. Used. Manipulated. On the verge of losing my autonomy, my very identity. I grab my phone and step outside for a moment, needing air. The cool night hits me, sharp against my skin. I start to text Dr. Holt, but before I can type anything, my thumb hovers over the screen. What do I even say? What's the point? I can already feel the noose tightening around me. Then the text comes through. It's from Dr. Holt again. "Meet me tomorrow at my office." I can't say much over text. I swallow hard. I'm walking into the lion's den. But I have no choice. If I'm going to get out of this, I need to know everything. Every detail. Every lie. Just as I'm about to call Nina, I hear the sound of footsteps behind me. I turn around sharply. Gregory's standing there, a few feet away, his expression unreadable. "You should go back inside," he says, his voice low. The warning in his tone is clear. It's the same voice he uses when he's trying to control everything around him. But I'm done playing by his rules. "I don't need your permission," I snap, my voice biting. His eyes narrow, and for a brief second, I wonder if he's going to lash out. Instead, he takes a step closer, his hand reaching into his coat pocket. For a moment, I think he might pull a weapon on me. But it's just a folder. He hands it to me. "Here's your invitation to the hospital," he says. "Avery's procedure is scheduled. I expect you to show up tomorrow. If you don't, well, there will be consequences." I take the folder from him, but I don't open it. Not yet. I can feel his eyes on me, watching every move I make. The air between us is thick, electric. He's daring me to do something. To make a move. But I don't give him the satisfaction. I turn and walk back inside. Dinner is a quiet affair. The tension is suffocating. Every clink of silverware, every sip of wine feels like a countdown. Like the seconds are ticking away, getting closer to something I can't escape. After dinner, I excuse myself to my room, pretending to go to bed. But I can't sleep. I lie there, wide awake, my mind racing. The only thing I can think about is how deep this goes. How much farther Gregory and Coraline are willing to push. I know they'll stop at nothing to get what they want. I can hear their voices in the hall. Low, murmuring, too soft for me to make out. But I know what they're talking about. Me. Avery. The plan. It's all coming together, and I'm the last piece. I get up and walk to the window, staring out into the darkness. For the first time in my life, I feel like an outsider in my own home. A stranger. Then my phone buzzes. A message from Nina. You're not alone in this. I'll be there tomorrow. Don't make any moves without me. I stare at the message, the words feeling like a lifeline. Nina has always been there for me. But this time, I'm going to need more than support. I need a way out. I close my eyes, the weight of everything pressing down on me. I've spent my whole life trying to please them, trying to be the good son, the obedient one. But now, it's time to break free. Time to expose the lies, the manipulation, everything. I just hope I'm not too late. The door to my room creaks. I freeze. A figure steps into the room. It's Coraline. Her eyes are soft, almost pitying. You know you have no choice, Eli, she says, her voice a whisper. You always have to do what's best for Avery. I stand there, staring at her, feeling the weight of the lies pressing down on me. It's always been about Avery, I think. And then, just before I close the door, she adds, tomorrow. You'll do the right thing, won't you? I look her in the eyes, and for the first time in my life, I don't answer. End of chapter 2. I can feel my heart thumping in my chest as I sit in my car, parked outside Dr. Holt's office. The early morning fog clings to the windshield like an omen. The world is quieter here. Too quiet. I've been here for 20 minutes, watching the door like I expect someone to walk out. Someone who knows too much. Someone who's been watching me. The text from Nina sits unanswered in my phone. Don't make any moves without me. She's right. I shouldn't be here alone. I know it. But I don't have a choice. Sometimes, we fool ourselves into thinking we're doing the right thing, just because it feels familiar, I mutter under my breath, recalling the words Nina told me last night. I'd ignored them. I thought I had control. But now, my hands shake as I grip the wheel. I don't know who I'm fooling anymore. I'm no better than the rest of them. I've allowed them to use me, to manipulate me for so long. What choice do I have now? If I don't do this, Avery's life is on the line. But what about mine? I wonder if anyone else in this family has ever had to make a choice like this. Or am I just a sacrifice? I slam my palm against the steering wheel. Enough. Time to stop being the victim. The door to Dr. Holt's office opens suddenly, and a tall figure steps out, his hands stuffed in his jacket pockets. For a second, I freeze. He doesn't see me. Then, just as quickly, he glances over, his eyes meeting mine. It's him, Dr. Holt. My stomach sinks. I take a deep breath and push open the door. The cold air rushes in, sharp and biting, as I follow him inside. The smell of antiseptic and old paper fills the room, an uncomfortable reminder of everything that's wrong. You came, Dr. Holt says, his voice strained but calm. I had to, I reply. You said it was urgent. He nods, motioning for me to sit. The walls are lined with books, medical journals, but none of it matters. What matters is the man sitting across from me, looking like he's seen a ghost. I don't know how much longer I can keep this up, he starts, his voice low. I never wanted you involved. This whole thing is spiraling out of control. I lean forward, my hands clenched tightly in my lap. What are you talking about? He doesn't answer right away. He just stares at me, eyes narrowed, like he's trying to decide whether or not to say it. The silence between us is thick. They're planning to drug you, Eli, Dr. Holt says finally, his voice barely a whisper. I freeze. The room tilts, and I'm suddenly lightheaded. What? He leans in closer, lowering his voice even further. It's the only way they'll get you to donate. They can't risk you backing out. You're the perfect match, but you won't agree to it unless they force you. And they're willing to go that far. I sit back, my chest tight. Gregory and Coraline, they knew? He nods. They've been manipulating you for months. They've been slowly building up to this, getting you ready for the procedure. They've convinced themselves this is the only way to save Avery. The words hang in the air. A feeling of cold emptiness washes over me. All this time, I thought I was just being a good son. But now, I know. They were never planning to save anyone. They were planning to control me. My body. My life. I can't let them do this, I whisper, more to myself than to him. Dr. Holt looks away, eyes flicking toward the door. I can't help you anymore, Eli. They've made it clear that if I speak out, I'll lose everything. My job. My license. Your family has deep ties, Eli. You have no idea how far they'll go to protect their interests. I stand up abruptly, the chair scraping against the floor, harsh and loud in the quiet room. You're saying why? I can feel the weight of their eyes on me, even when no one is around. It's like there's always someone waiting, watching, calculating my next move. The message from Nina keeps ringing in my ears, get out now. They know you're coming. But how? How could they possibly know? I've been careful. Too careful. I haven't made a single move without thinking it through. But it's like the walls are closing in faster than I can process. I take one last look at the street outside Dr. Holt's office, my eyes scanning for any sign of a tail. But everything seems normal. A woman walks by, her dog tugging at the leash. A man hurries toward his car. There's no one watching me, right? I want to believe that. I need to. I pull out of the parking lot quickly, the engine roaring to life as I head down the street. The car's tires screech slightly as I make a sharp turn, the tires gripping the wet pavement. I can feel the tension in my body rising. My heart pounds against my chest. I've never been this on edge before. But that's the point, right? If I feel like I'm being watched, then I am. And if I don't do something soon, I'll be forced to make a decision I won't be able to take back. As I drive, my mind races through the possibilities. Every time I think I'm close to a solution, something else pops up. My hand trembles as I grip the wheel, but I can't afford to slow down now. I need to find the truth, and I need to do it fast. I've already been pushed too far by my family. I thought I was the one in control, but it turns out I've been the puppet all along. Then my phone rings. I glance at the screen, and my pulse spikes. It's Gregory. I don't answer. Instead, I press the phone to my ear. The sound of static fills the line before Gregory's voice cuts through. I know you're driving, he says, his voice calm, too calm. You need to come home, Eli. This is bigger than you think. I feel my stomach drop. What do you mean? The procedure is set. Everything's ready. Just do your part, and this will all be over. I slam the brakes, the car jerking forward, the tires skidding on the wet pavement as I pull over to the side of the road. My hand shakes as I grip the steering wheel. You think I'm just going to do it? I say, the anger rising in my throat. You think I'm going to give up my liver without a fight? Gregory sighs, the sound cutting through the line like a knife. You never had a choice, Eli. You just didn't know it yet. I hear a faint click on the other end of the line, and I know it's the end of the conversation. The call ends. I sit there, staring at the screen, my mind racing. I can't just sit back and let them win. Not now. I speed away, heading toward the only place I know I might get some answers, the family home. Gregory and Coraline will be there, no doubt. But this time, I'm not playing their game. The house looms ahead like a dark monument to my captivity. I pull into the driveway and park quickly, my chest tight with dread. The air is thick, and every sound feels amplified in the stillness of the evening. I step out of the car and walk toward the front door, my heart hammering in my chest. As I reach for the handle, I pause. A shadow flits across the window, and I freeze. I know I'm not alone. I push open the door, and the lights are off, the house silent. I step inside cautiously, my senses on high alert. The only sound is my breath and the soft creaking of the wooden floorboards beneath me. Then, the click of a door. I freeze. Coraline steps out from the hallway, her expression unreadable. She's standing in the shadows, but I can see her clearly enough. She's not surprised to see me. "Eli," she says softly. "You should have listened. Now look where we are." The words don't make sense. My mind is racing, my heart beating in my ears, and then it hits me. I've walked straight into their trap. The house feels too still, too quiet. I glance toward the back of the house, where the door leading to the basement is cracked open. I know what's in there. I can't breathe. Every instinct tells me to run. But where do I go? Before I can move, the door slams shut behind me, and I hear Gregory's voice from behind, sharp and cold. "You're not going anywhere, Eli." My body locks in place. I turn slowly, meeting his gaze. His eyes are dark, empty. "You have no idea what you've walked into," he says. "But you're going to find out soon enough." The room feels like it's closing in on me. My head spins, but I stand tall. I won't give in. Not now. Gregory steps closer, his footsteps slow and deliberate. The sound echoes in my mind, each one like a death knell. I'm trapped. But I'm not done fighting. Not yet. I glance around the room, my eyes catching something on the wall. A photo of Avery. My sister, the one they've used as the excuse for all of this. This is their game. But it's mine now. The floorboards creak beneath Gregory's weight as he steps closer, but before he can say another word, I make my move. "Everything you've done is about to blow up in your face," I spit, my words sharper than I feel. "You thought you had control over me, but you were wrong." I shove past him and head toward the stairs. My heart is racing, but I'm done being the pawn. I don't know how this will end. But I do know one thing. I'm not going down without a fight. The air is thick with tension. Every step I take feels like it could be my last. My heart pounds against my chest, each beat a reminder of the game I'm playing, the trap I've walked into. My feet echo in the empty hallway as I make my way down the stairs, the sound too loud in the silence. It's like everything is waiting for me to make a mistake. I glance at the clock on the wall. It's almost time. I don't know what I expect to happen, but I feel the weight of my decision pressing down on me. The weight of what I'm about to do. I know Gregory and Coraline are expecting me to follow the script. They've planned everything to the smallest detail, from the location of the procedure to the drugs they'll use to knock me out. The thought makes my skin crawl. They think they can control me. But this time, I'm the one pulling the strings. "To break free, you have to break everything," I whisper to myself, quoting the line that's been echoing in my mind for weeks now. I don't know where it came from, but it feels true. I've been living my life in a cage, and I'm about to tear it apart. I turn the corner and find myself standing in front of the basement door. It's slightly ajar, and the air smells stale. I've been down there before, back when I was a kid, before I knew what they were really doing. But now, I know. Now, it's the last place I want to be. But it's also the only place I might find the answers. I push the door open, the hinges creaking, and step inside. The basement is dim, lit only by a few flickering overhead bulbs. The space is cluttered with old furniture, boxes, and junk that no one has bothered to throw out. It smells of dust and mildew. I pull my jacket tighter around me, the chill of the room sinking into my bones. A sound catches my ear. A door opening behind me. I turn quickly, but it's just Coraline. She stands in the doorway, her face an unreadable mask. "Eli," she says, her voice low, almost too soft. "I knew you'd come down here. You always do when you're looking for something." I don't say anything. I just stand there, waiting. She steps forward, her eyes scanning the room, as if she's making sure nothing's out of place. "You don't have to do this," she continues, her voice laced with false sweetness. "You don't have to make it harder on yourself. This is the only way." "The only way?" I say, my voice rising. "You mean the only way you can control me, right? You and Gregory think you can just use me however you want, but I'm done. I'm not playing your game anymore." She doesn't flinch. In fact, she smiles. It's a cold, calculated smile, one that makes my skin crawl. "You're not done, Eli. You never were. You think you have a choice, but you don't. The only choice you have is to save Avery. You've always been the one who could fix things." I stare at her, my breath shallow. I can feel the walls closing in. I've heard this before. The guilt. The manipulation. It's always the same. "You don't care about Avery." "You never did," I snap, stepping closer. "This is about power. About you getting what you want." Her smile fades for a moment, replaced by something colder. "You really think you know everything, don't you?" Before I can respond, I feel a sharp pain in my side. My vision blurs, and I stagger back, my legs giving out beneath me. I catch myself on the edge of a table, the room spinning around me. "You," I gasp, barely able to speak. Coraline steps forward, her face expressionless. She's holding a needle. The sedative. It's already kicking in, clouding my thoughts. "Don't fight it, Eli," she says softly. "You've been in this family long enough to know that we always get what we want. It's just easier if you cooperate." The world tilts again. My legs buckle, and I crash to the floor, the cold concrete pressing against my skin. I try to push myself up, but my body is betraying me. The sedative is working too quickly, shutting everything down. My breath comes in ragged gasps. I can't think. Can't move. "You think you have control now," Coraline continues, her voice a distant echo. "But you never did. You were never meant to have control." The last thing I see before the darkness overtakes me is her face, cold and empty. I wake up in a sterile, bright room, the smell of antiseptic heavy in the air. My head is pounding, and my mouth is dry. I try to sit up, but my body feels like it's made of lead. Panic sets in as I realize where I am, the hospital. The procedure. They're going to take my liver. I struggle against the restraints holding me down. I didn't plan on this. I thought I had more time. But the sedative was too strong. They've got me right where they want me. "Eli," Gregory's voice cuts through the haze. "You're awake." I turn my head and see him standing at the foot of the bed, his face unreadable. Coraline is beside him, her arms crossed, watching me closely. "You know," Gregory continues, "we always thought you'd be the one to save her. We never had any doubt." I glare at him, my voice hoarse. "You've already taken everything from me. What more do you want?" He smirks. "Everything, Eli. We want everything. You'll give it to us." The world starts to spin again, and I know I'm running out of time. They're going to do it. They're going to take my liver. But I can't let them. I need a way out. But as the darkness starts to claim me again, one thought rises to the surface of my mind. I'm not going down without a fight. The room is silent. Too silent. My hands tremble as I sit, bound to the sterile hospital bed, unable to move. The needles, the IVs, they're all in place, a cruel reminder of what's about to happen. I've been drugged. Again. The sedative still lingers in my veins, clouding my thoughts, but I can't let it take over. Not this time. Not when I'm so close. The operation, my liver, is supposed to be the next step, but I can feel it. It's not just about the liver. It never was. It's about control. It's always been about control. You're finally awake, Gregory's voice cuts through the haze. I blink slowly, trying to focus. He stands at the foot of the bed, his hands clasped behind his back. Coraline is beside him, her face unreadable, but there's a glimmer in her eyes. A cold satisfaction. We've been waiting for this moment, Eli, Gregory says, his tone flat, devoid of any emotion. You've always been the solution. The fix. The one who could save everything. I can't move. My body feels like it's encased in cement, but my mind is racing. I see them for what they are. Liars. Manipulators. Their perfect image of family is a facade, built on my sacrifice. You won't get away with this, I manage to rasp, my voice weak but steady. You can't control me anymore. Gregory's lips curl into a smile that makes my skin crawl. You're right. I can't control you anymore. He pauses, letting the words hang in the air. But I can control your sister. And that's all that matters. The room feels colder now. I've always known they didn't care about me. But hearing him say it aloud is like a knife twisting in my gut. They don't care about Avery either. Not really. This has always been about power. About ensuring their hold on everything and everyone. I struggle against the restraints again, but my body won't obey. The sedative is too strong, and the thought of the procedure, the incision, the blood, the removal, sickens me. I have to fight. I have to fight. Just as I feel my consciousness begin to fade again, the door swings open. A figure steps inside. It's Nina. She's been waiting for this moment too. I know it. Her face is determined, but there's a flicker of fear in her eyes. Nina. I murmur, barely able to form the words. She doesn't waste any time. She moves quickly, efficiently, walking toward Gregory and Coraline, her expression cold. You're making a mistake, she says. You've been so blinded by your need for control that you don't see what you've become. You're destroying everything. Gregory narrows his eyes at her. You think you can stop this? You're too late. Nina shakes her head. No. I'm not too late. She pulls something from her bag, and in the dim light, I see what it is, a small flash drive, no bigger than a thumb. She tosses it on the bed in front of me. What's this? Gregory demands, his voice sharp. A copy of everything, Nina says. Emails. Texts. The plans. Everything that proves you've been manipulating him, using him, for your own gain. A brief moment of silence stretches between us. The air is thick with tension, every second pulling tighter. You think that matters? Coraline snaps. You think we're afraid of a little exposure? Nina's eyes harden. I think you should be. Before they can react, the door bursts open again. This time, it's the hospital security. A few officers, along with a representative from the hospital ethics board, rush in. The confusion is palpable, but the weight of their presence is enough to shift the power in the room. You're under investigation, one of the officers says, looking directly at Gregory. We've been tracking your communications. You've crossed the line. This ends now. Gregory's face contorts in fury, but Coraline's expression is unreadable. She glances at me one last time before her gaze flickers to the officers. You've ruined everything, she says, her voice almost a whisper. I can feel the tension in the room crack. Gregory steps forward, but the officers move in immediately, restraining him. His struggles are futile. For the first time, I see him as the weak, desperate man he truly is. His power over me is gone. The room is spinning again. I can hear the murmurs of the officers, the harsh whispers of Coraline's protests. But none of it matters. I'm free. They've lost. As I close my eyes, finally able to breathe without the weight of their control pressing down on me, I think about everything I've learned. About how love, when twisted by power and greed, can become a prison. And about how, sometimes, the hardest thing in the world is breaking free from the people who are supposed to love you. The door closes, the sound muffled by the distance, and I let out a shaky breath. I don't know what's next for me. I don't know what I'll do or who I'll become now that the truth is out, but I do know one thing. I'm no longer their pawn. And for the first time in my life, I get to choose who I want to be.